Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back again with another client makeover tutorial, and this episode is featuring the very lovely Amaka. She came in to get glammed up for a wedding ceremony as a wedding guest. So to see her transformation from this to this, stay tuned. First off, I start by priming her face using an all control cream, Pond's all control cream. So I apply this all over her skin, and then after this process I move on to her brows. Her brows were they weren't bushy, but they just had a few stray strands around, so I used the blade to just lightly trim around those areas. I wasn't changing the shape of her brows in any way, just cleaning around it. So after cleaning around the brows, I proceeded to fill it in, and then I cleaned around it. I used concealer on the lower part and then foundation on the top part. After her brows, I moved on to her eyes. I applied some concealer to her lids, and I proceeded to set this with setting powder. This was done to prepare the eyes for the eyeshadow products. For the eyes, the client wanted a very soft look, so we're going for neutral shades. I started off by applying a dark brown to the outer corners of her eyes and blending that in. Then I went in with an orange color to use as a transition. Then after this, I went in with a very soft gold all over her eyelids, and I applied some silver to the inner corners of her eyes to open up her eyes a bit. It was just a very soft look. Once I'm done with the eyes, I line the eyes using a gel liner. Then I apply mascara and apply false lashes to her eyes to finish up the eye look for now. Moving on to the face, I clean off the fallout from the eyeshadow application, and then I reapply the primer to the areas that I have cleaned off. Then I apply a setting powder all over her face to soak up any oil that may appear later on. Even though I have primed with an all control cream, I can just be extra. Then I apply her foundation in sections all over her face. When applying foundations, my focus is always matching with the larger area of her skin. So I look at the chest and the neck, and that is what I make the face. So I apply the foundation in sections all over her face, in the inner corners, just everywhere, and I blend this in with a beauty blender. When I'm done with the foundation, I apply some concealer to the areas of her face that I want to highlight, so the usual areas of highlighting. Then after highlighting, I blend this in with a beauty blender. Then I proceed to apply a darker shade to contour her face by bringing definition back to her face after highlighting. And then I also blend this out with a stippling brush and then later with a beauty blender. I then applied some setting powder to the highlighted areas. While the highlighted areas are baking, I come back in to complete the eyes. I line her waterline using a black eye pencil, and then I come back in with a neutral palette and apply the brown I used as the first shade to her lower lash line to smoke it out a bit. I was able to convince her to let me add a little sparkle to her eyes, so we added a little silver glitters to the middle of her lids to take the neutral look up a notch a bit. Then I dusted off the excess powders that I applied to the highlighted areas. After this, I applied a face powder all over her face, and then a contour powder to set the areas that I had applied the darker shade of concealer to. And then I used a plain buffing brush to just buff everything in to ensure that it was well blended without any harsh lines. I then applied some blush and sprayed some setting spray all over her face. For her lips, I applied some lip balm all over first to prep it. Then I lined it using a brown lip liner, and then I applied a neutral shade to the center of her lips and blended this in because she requested a very neutral look for her lips. However, as you will see later on in the video, she changed her mind about this and we opted for 2 other colors. To complete the look, I added some highlighter to the areas of her face that I wanted to glow up. Then after this, I tied the gele for her, and that was the complete look. She opted for bolder lips eventually, so we went for red, and then after applying the red one, we also tried on an ombre purple pinkish nude. You'll see what it looks like. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye and God bless.